We are live. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mark. You're watching BigCritique. Oleg, Levitas with Pravda SEO, local SEO. Thank you so much for joining, man. How are you today?
My pleasure, Mark. I'm doing awesome. Well, all things considered.
Yeah, I know everybody's in a tricky situation, man. So for anybody listening, if you hear any audio discrepancies, I use StreamYard and it's being a little glitchy, but we're still going to try to get through this and hit you with as much value as we possibly can. Oleg, let's talk local SEO and regular SEO. First of all, who are you? What are your credentials? Like, why should anybody listen to you and take what you say with any sort of value? What's going on, man? Talk to us.
So I've been in the local SEO business for the last 15 years. Same company that I own, which is called Pravda SEO Inc. For the last 7 years, most of my clients come by way of referral. I don't even have a sales team anymore, which should tell you something that you should listen to me just a little bit. I know all the tricks that, has to do with local SEO. I know all the things that you should consider, when trying to put your website on the first page of Google. What is local SEO? So basically, it's a way of putting your website on the first page of Google results without actually paying for your clicks, without actually going directly to Google. And if somebody doesn't know, the 3 nice letters SEO stands for search engine optimization. So you're basically optimizing your website content to make sure that it's useful and unique and it gets on the first page of Google result. Content is the key.
Can we show some examples of local SEO?
Sure. I can show actually. Am I sharing the screen right now?
Yeah, share it, man. Do it up. I'm going to blow it up, and it's all you.
Let's say we're searching for Limo, Seattle. Okay, so if I just search, for example, for Limo, then it should not be tied to any location. And when it's not tied to any location, you should have results that are related to Limo in general. If I, for example, type Limo for sale, now limoforsale.com is the first website, and it's not related to any specific location. The competition of somebody who sells limos are nationwide. In other words, it could be any company within the United States that could show up here. But if I add a location, like I was just doing Limo Seattle, then it's local results. And when it's local results, it's called local SEO. I hope that is clear. And here are the actual results through Google My Business listing, which is a very important entity to have for any local business. I might have, typed this keyword by accident, but just so you know, this is my client and this is my client as well. Those are 2 different companies. And you can also see here websites that are showing up organically. Limo Service Seattle, Bayview Limo. All those websites, they actually belong to Seattle. Now, if I type, for example, Brooklyn Limo, you can also see all the websites related to Brooklyn Limo transportation. The way to rank on the first page of Google is through these search results and also through Google My Business listing, which I cannot, say how important it is. And that's actually also my client. Now, what is the difference between local SEO and organic SEO? Organic SEO, say I want to type Pravda sunglasses, or just sunglasses in general. If I'm an e-commerce website, I type the search and I don't type any location keywords, and I look at my competition organically. So Amazon, obviously not a local company. Sunglass Hut, glassesusa.com. So organic SEO is basically any website that is not a local business should be ranking organically. Now, unfortunately, only 10 of them can be ranking on the first page of Google results, so the competition is huge. Look, it's 1,300,000,000 search results. So just my advice, if you are starting out your sunglasses website, you might consider doing something else because you're not going to beat them anytime soon. That being said, there is an option to rank through Google Maps as well, but that's something I can get into details later. I hope that makes it a little bit clearer what a local SEO is and what organic SEO is.
Thanks so much for that explanation, Oleg. Yeah, I think that makes it pretty clear. My question is, so here's a big one. How do you quantify what you should be paying for this and what you should be charging if you were starting an SEO agency and I know you only do local, but do you have like information on for regular SEO and all that stuff? What do you think?
So it depends on so many factors, but the most important factor is your competition. Once again, if you are starting your website, and let's go back to sunglasses or maybe watches. Say you want to rank your website for Rolex watches. Now, you should think about how many Rolex watch websites already there on the first page of Google. And if you're just starting out, you're probably going to be 1,500,000 numbers 72. So in order for you to get to the top, you should really look at your competition on the first page of Google, on the second page of Google. You'll probably hit some big sharks there, and it's very hard to beat them. So in those cases, I would say you're looking at least at $5,000 a month. Let's say you are
just to get to the first page.
You're continuously working on it, and there is no guarantees.
So, say for example, you have some budget, and you're a business, big or small, and you want to go for it. How long should you spend approximately $5,000 a month to try to get on without seeing results? Like after a year of spending $5,000 a month and you don't get on, should you keep going or should you say that's it?
Well, a lot depends on what you call results. But I wanted to also tell you that if a shoe repair business comes to me and they want to be on the first page of Google, so say shoe repair Queens, then I charge them $100 a month. Big difference, right?
And they want to be on the first page of Google?
And they can be on for the shoe repair Queens. I mean, the competition between sunglasses.
I see what you're saying.
Right, and shoe repair business. And most likely, most of the shoe repairs don't exactly have the most sophisticated websites. We can beat them much easier. It's $100 a month. I personally don't have any contracts, and I don't believe in contracts, but some companies do, And then to answer your next question, so how long you should be paying, right?
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you mean by results. Is the result the first page of Google, or is the result the continuous monthly improvement? In other words, if this month you see yourself on the first page of Google, on the seventh page of Google, but next month you see yourself on page 6 or page 5, and it continuously increases, then you're probably paying for something that you can call results.
That's true.
If you get to page 2nd and you stick there in the same place for 3 months, that's when you should give up.
Okay.
Or at least give up the SEO company they've been working with, because they probably, did everything.
Taking your money and whatever.
They did everything they could.
I like that. Okay, so you're not saying they just took your money and ran with it, but like for their skill set, they did the best that they could. It just wasn't good enough.
Continuous results is what needs to be done. But then it's not all about the SEO company. They continue to do the same thing that believe that, works for most of the clients. It's just that you might have the competition that is unbeatable. Can you really, with say, I don't know, $1,000 a month, can you really beat Amazon? Or can you beat Yelp? I mean, Yelp is always going to be on the first page of Google for local results. That's the main example. So always search for your main keyword. And by keyword, I actually mean your exact service or product. And take a look who's on the first page of Google. Because at the end of the day, first page of Google is the only thing that counts. If you're on the second page, you're really not getting as much traffic.
Okay, so let's get into specific businesses and what you would do. So say, for example, I would give you 3 different types of businesses. All local, small businesses for now. Maybe they'll grow and scale later on, but for now. So you have, let's say, for example, one photo booth company. A good friend of mine owns a photo booth company, right? Small business. He does it really for weddings and occasions or whatever. Another friend of mine owns a film and photography studio in Brooklyn, right? Another small business. And another friend of mine owns a CBD company, manufacturer in Staten Island. For those 3, with the bare minimum of facts that I just gave you, right? If they came to you and said, what can you do for me? What would be your honest answer to the 3 of them separately? If you had to take a second to think about what you would tell them,
So I would show them a couple of, results from my clients in similar industries. That's something that I would do first of all. and then I would actually talk to them and see what their goals are. Now, when it comes to CBD company, yes, I guess it matters that they are manufacturing in Staten Island, but would they get much from local SEO? They probably not. So most likely they want to be ranked on number one for CBD oil in the whole United States. Makes sense, right? But if we look through their competition, and I'll tell them, I'm sorry, it's going to take probably at least 6 to 8 months to do it, because look who's on the first page of Google. Look how many links they have. Look how much useful content they have on the website, which is the most important factor. Look at their domain. It's been out there for a very long time. Another factor, if you just bought your domain and it's very recent, it's very hard to rank it on the first page of Google. So this specific option is actually, they're probably looking at least $3,000-4,000 a month, and there is no guarantee they're going to get to the first page.
Now,
This is organic SEO, but I would offer them some local SEO option. Say I'll go to Keyword Planner and I take a look at their keywords and I see, oh, look, somebody searching for CBD oil New York, somebody searching for CBD oil Los Angeles, and it's a substantial number of people. So I would work with their client to see what their goals are. If they're in this for the long term and they can wait 6-8 months, we'll go for organic. But if they want the results within 2-3 months period, I would offer them something else, and that something else would actually get them to the top, pretty much guaranteed.
Okay. So tell me this.
Results, yes.
Tell me this. I'm sorry I cut you off before, by the way. I wasn't sure if you were done explaining. When you provide your service, and I don't know if you can explain this in a few minutes or not, but if somebody were to say, okay, fine, I'm paying you for this, what are you actually doing? What are you doing to get this to happen?
So the most important thing is the website. And I'll give you an example. I'm very actually thankful when somebody comes to me without the website, because I can give them a lot of good advices even before they start. So let's talk about you, for example. I know that you're a very good web designer, right?
Very good is relative. I've been doing it for a long time, so I appreciate that. But
just as an example, and you say you have not built your website yet. So here's my advice to you. You're a web designer. You are located in Brooklyn. The first thing that I suggest to you is find the domain that is exact keyword to what you do. Now, I did a little bit of homework, and I got good news for you. Webdesignerbrooklyn.com is available. Because web designer is your main keyword, and because you are located in Brooklyn, grab that domain. You can sell it later if you don't want to build a website on it. But it is
smart guy.
Very useful for you. Now, what is next? Next, we identify your other keywords. And my strong recommendation when you build a website, besides regular pages like homepage, why choose us, FAQ, I would build website with every single I would build separate pages with every single service that you provide. I would say restaurant web design, right? It's a good keyword. People are searching for it. So why should Google put you on the first page of Google for that keyword? I mean, what is it about you? The first thing that we should do is build a separate page on your website for restaurant web design. And the whole page, the content of the page, the pictures on that page, the title, the meta description, everything should be related to restaurant web design. And how do you build the content for that page? Well, you should really research the most important frequently asked questions about restaurant web design. So you would go to Google and you search for restaurant web design FAQ. You look through the most common question, and then you write that content all about, answering to those questions. Informative, unique. So what you're going to have is webdesignbrooklyn.com/restaurant web design. This is going to be your page that's going to get indexed for that specific keyword. Now, you're not going to get on the first page of Google right away, but you're already going to be probably on page 4 or 5. So you're welcome.
Oleg, you warm my heart with these money-making ideas.
I'm just saying.
You're a beautiful man. So, as somebody who's managed the web design projects before, and I'm a user experience designer for a living, right? Like with where I'm working right now. So these projects that you're talking about are things that I do on the side. What you're saying is say for example you have a small business, right, and you're getting started. Instead of just going to a web design or web development company to get yourself off the ground, what you really need to do is, in conjunction with that, you got to think to yourself, well, I don't just want a website to have a website and have a web presence. I also really, really want a website to funnel sales to my front, digital door, so to speak. So to do that, and this is something that it just sort of hit me as you're explaining, to do that, what the best option might be is in conjunction with a web design development company to contact someone really like you to work side by side in the process. So that, because it seems like you may not even need the most beautiful of websites to start out, but if you go about your SEO properly in conjunction with your web design and development as you're first starting, you can always update design later, but you started the ground, a really strong foundational groundwork to try to attract people to your store via Google search. That seems to me like there'd be a lot of value in building out a digital brand like that, right?
Absolutely. The most important advice I can give to you and your viewers is whether, when you start building your website, go to the web designer who knows how to build the websites that are absolutely 100% Google friendly. If you don't do that, and I'm not talking about design. Design could be amazing. Design could be average. But if the website is not 100% Google friendly, fast, has all the content that you need, you're going to really most likely rebuild it. If you don't want to rebuild your website when you're trying to rank it on the first page of Google, if you don't want to pay twice, make sure that your web design company either was working with somebody like me, who's an SEO guy, or they know how to build the website that are Google friendly. So you go to a webmaster and you tell him, show me a couple of your websites. He shows you a couple of your websites. And, oh, nice job. But then you ask him, now show me a couple of your websites that are 100% Google friendly, that are optimized for Google to read it properly and therefore to index it and to rank it. And then they give me those websites. I take them through my software. And if I see that at least 70% done accurate, then I can probably work with them and show some simple mistakes. If it's less than 70%, I would not work with that person.
Okay. So now riddle me this, Batman. How important is it really for Google to have a website that is mobile friendly or optimized for mobile? Because it's been explained to me that is something that if you don't have a website that's mobile friendly or responsive, so to speak, then Google will kind of shun you and be like, yeah, you're not good enough for us. Is that true or is that nonsense?
It is true, but most of the time it's true when somebody's searching from the phone. That being said, at least 50% of people are searching from the phone. The statistics changes, but it's definitely increasing. More and more people searching from mobiles than from actual laptop or computer. So why would you even, consider the option of not having your website as mobile friendly? It doesn't really cost that much money to do it. You got to do it one time and you got to do it right. So yes, besides Google, which I honestly, I care more about my clients than Google, and I actually care for when somebody's searching for the services or products, they'll be able to see it in a nice way through their mobile as well. Mobile is absolutely the most important thing.
Well, so, and this is maybe this is just a me thing, like a my opinion thing, but I think that in 2020, right now, as we stand or sit in place, whatever, if you go to a company and they tell you, of course, we're going to give you mobile friendly, but to do mobile friendly, we're going to charge you a little bit more. If they tell you that, you should kiss them goodbye. Mobile friendly should be something that is obvious and included and a part of the design package. So meaning when they start to show you designs and previews of what your site's going to look like, you'll see it both for desktop, mobile, and tablet. And I think that that's something that should just be like an automatic. They should never try to charge you more for that. They might tell you they shouldn't even tell you it's going to take more time, because it should just be something that's an obvious to me. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have experience a little bit differently, if people still try to charge extra for it, but they shouldn't, as far as I'm concerned.
The reason I agree with you is a little bit different. So say I'm a web designer and I have my own reputation. Say I give an option of whether to do my the websites that I'm doing with mobile optimization and without it. And say potential client would choose it without mobile optimization. And that potential client, when he gets the website, he then shows it to the friends. And then those friends look, oh my God, what kind of website is that? It doesn't have a mobile friendliness. Who did it for you? Oh, that guy? I'm never, going to him again.
Right.
And that's the main reason. I mean, web designers should really work on their reputation as well.
Absolutely. And this is something that I spoke with my buddy Stan. He owns his own creative agency. The other day, I had him on. Basically, I was just like, I'm sorry, a little glitch on my end. Basically, I was just like, one of the most important things is user experience, which goes hand in hand with design.
Absolutely, yes.
User experience. And so it's like when you first gauge a company to put together a digital experience for you, you need not just a user experience designer, but you really need, not just a web designer, but you need a user experience designer in conjunction with an SEO master like yourself, so to speak, and a developer, really. Like all those things combined will give you a fighting chance in this digital world we are now all living in. Oleg, so all that being said, that's the obvious stuff, right? All that being said, let's talk about, number one, you said something to me before that was really interesting. You're not a fan of Google.
Well, to be honest, I'm not.
Talk about it.
So you have several options, to advertise on the first page of Google. 3 of them, actually. You can do it through Google pay-per-click, which is where the money goes directly to Google. You can do it through local results, and you can do it through Google My Business listings. I showed you a couple of my clients' business listings that look like Google Maps with reviews, website, phone number on the first page of Google. So any money that goes to Google doesn't go to me. That's one of the reasons, them but there are other reasons, especially right now. So at this point, you have so many online companies that figure out how to work from home. Google did not. They actually laid off the employees. And at this point, nobody is monitoring Google My Business listings. On most of the listings that are not related to healthcare, they simply put temporary closed. So even if I sell glasses, from home, they still automatically put temporary closed on my listing. So I cannot do business even if somebody orders from me online, which is extremely devastating to a lot of the local clients that I'm working with. That being said, if I like your service and you just build a website for me, I cannot go on your Google My Business listing and put review right now. It's just going to say pending. Now, this is happening right now for the, for the last 3 weeks. And a lot of my colleagues, competitors, they go out and talk about it in the forums, and they just can't believe how Google could have done something like that. They could have put the people who monitor Google My Business listings to work from home. But this is not happening. Their customer service absolutely sucks. You cannot reach them, and even if you do reach them, they don't even know what to tell you. So here's what I'm doing for my clients. When I see temporary closed on their Google My Business listings, I find hacks to remove it, and it shows that they continue to working. Now, they may not necessarily have an office that is open, but at least they can pick up the calls. At least they can, arrange for later appointments. It's something that should be available to them. So yes, at this point, I'm most certainly working not with Google. I'm working against Google. And guess what? If Google gives me certain policies that I should abide, I'll listen to them. But if my client says he wants to bend a few of those policies, I'll work with my client. In other words, I'm very result-oriented. My client wants to be on the first page of Google. 95% of the time, I don't care what he wants. If I don't care what Google wants, he's going to be there. And I can show you numerous results of my works. I'll give you another example. I got a roofing company. They work in a very small town, and they want to have their Google My Business listing showing up in the towns nearby. So say they work in Marlborough.
Marlborough? Where is that?
New Jersey.
I just wanted you to clarify for everybody else.
Now, the nearby towns, when you search for roofing, Thames River, Manalapan, and some other towns nearby, the competition is actually different because, there are roofing companies in every town. But how do they make money if they only show up in Marlborough? So what I do is I create additional Google My Business listings for them as a service area. So the address is hidden, and I create them in Thames River, in Manalapan, and in every single town where they want to do business. And the end result, I make them millionaires. That's pretty much it.
So, riddle me this. I don't know why I keep going back to the Batman reference, but whatever. How do you feel about blogging? So you have a website. How do you feel about making like blog entries on your website or whatever? Does that really work well into Google indexing? Is that nonsense? Is it like a really, really slow-moving process? Does it work? What do you think?
So blogging, I think it's one of the most important factors right now. I recently spoke to the consultants that are working with Neil Patel. I don't know if you heard about him.
I have heard. Neil Patel is an amazing online reference. And I mean, maybe you have a different opinion of him, and I'd love to hear it, but I think he's really, really provided a lot of value.
A lot of useful information online, a lot of it. So what I usually do is I make research. So,
you use his tools?
No, let me finish. Once a month, I search for SEO company. I just put SEO, and I go to whoever is number one, number two, number three. Then I search for SEO in New York and do the same. And I call them and I pretend to be a client, potential client, and I give them some keywords. And I'm curious what kind of offer they're going to give me, what kind of strategies they're going to use to put me on the first page of Google. And if I like what they show me, I engage. This is my way of spending some money from my budget to the research to see what other people are doing, my colleagues, my competitors, and so on. So recently, I wanted to start working with Neil Patel. I gave him a few websites. His consultants call me. When they send a proposal, the whole proposal is around the blogs only. So for $1,000 a month, besides doing 5,000 words of blogs, they're gonna give me only one link. Link is another important factor to ranking your website. For $2,000, they're gonna give me 2 links. For $3,000, they're gonna give me 3 links. So $3,000 a month for 3 links.
That's insane.
It's insane, absolutely.
That's so great. You're talking about backlinks, right?
Talking about backlinks. So they make.
What is a backlink? I'm sorry. Just explain what a backlink is to give some context.
A backlink is basically a link from one website that is hopefully related to what you do to your website. Now, it could be by way of Forbes. Forbes links actually cost about $4,000 a month if you do content there. If you take an editor and have it written for you. Then you have a link from yahoo.com. That costs about $100. Then you have a link from brownbook.com. That's free. My in-house team does it for free. So I have the most extensive number of local links for my local clients. It's about 1,000 of local links that my in-house team does free of charge. But we call them citations. Not free of charge, but it's included in the price of monthly service. But, we are taken away from the point. Neil's team is all about the blogging. They are all about the content. And they gave me a couple of good pointers. Well, I'm not going to go with them because $3,000 a month for 3 links is a bit more expensive. The blogging stuff really makes a lot of sense. Now, blogs, the way I see it, should be focused on certain keywords. Just like I mentioned to you about that main page that related to restaurant web design, that it should be completely focused on the restaurant web design and nothing else. Same thing with blogging. If you talk about something on the blog, don't try to talk about 4 or 5 different services. Talk about one services, put the whole focus on it, and that way that blog is actually going to be useful. So if, let's say, if carpet cleaning company comes to me and they want to rank through local SEO, through Google My Business listing, as well as, where organic results are. They have several different services. And I suggest that every single service have a separate blog. Commercial carpet cleaning, residential carpet cleaning, deep carpet cleaning. Every single keyword should have a separate blog on their website. This is absolutely necessary. And it's an essential product that will get you to the top of Google search.
Gotcha. Okay. What I'd love to do with you, which we may not be able to do this particular podcast. I just messaged a friend of mine, who I actually, helped him build his website some time ago for his small business. He was the studio that I was referencing before. And before I ask you to do a screen share to audit this, I want his permission. I don't want to just do it in the event that he wants to. I want to try to respect people, but I also want to try to give some sort of, examples, so to speak. So
Sure.
That being said, is there any website that you'd be okay to display right now that could display a good example of what, from an exterior eye, good SEO looks like? Is there any website that you want to screen share with us right now?
Now, what is his niche?
His niche is film studios. He actually just responded. So hold on one second. Let me see. All right. So he did just give me permission. This is something that I built about a year ago, maybe a little bit more than that. So now, disclaimer for this, I'm not an SEO specialist. I know the basics. Oleg is the SEO specialist. I'm a web developer and designer. So that being said, Oleg, I'm going to have you take us to a specific web address right now. Can you go to 718studios.com?
Is the share the screen on?
It will be. Yeah, no, it's on.
Can you see me now?
Yep, I can see your browser.
Okay, what is the name of the website?
The number is 718 studios.
Oops. 718studios.com?
Yes, sir. Now let's see if I did even a remotely good job. There are certain aspects of this that, my friend, he actually got involved. He did his own due diligence, which is very commendable. He tried to, using the Neil Patel reference, me and him both sort of YouTubed and tried to figure out, what was best text-wise and copy-wise to go on this site. I don't know if we did a good job or not remotely. I have no idea, but that's why I asked you what can be improved and what was done correctly.
First of all, I just want to say that the website looks very nice.
Thank you. I don't know if you're just saying that, but I do appreciate it regardless.
I'm just saying it's nice. But something missing, right?
Okay.
What do you think is? What is missing here? Like right here, right in the front, right on top. Any marketing book will tell you.
I'm not sure.
A phone number. A phone number should always be on top of the website. It could be.
It was at one point. I don't know what happened to it. That's weird. Okay.
This is nice. Contact us for a tour. This is also amazing. I usually put the form that they can submit also somewhere closer to the top, like at least right here. But if you don't have it here, you should at least have it somewhere else.
Understood. Okay.
Now, if it's a possibility to have someone working for you full time, that could be next to computer. I also recommend to have a chat here. And in some cases, that chat comes out.
There's contact us right over there, but it should be on top.
It actually helps you, keep most of the users who would otherwise, leave to go to see the other website. So the chat pops out usually right here, and it says, "How can I help you?"
Okay.
We have special today. If you sign up through this chat right now, this and that. So that's useful. When it comes to content, pictures are great, looks awesome. But what are we missing? We're missing at least 500, 600, 700 words of useful content that describes all your services. All we have here is this. This is not enough. Google reads pictures, but most importantly, it reads context. When Google robots will crawl through this website, what are they really going to see on the first page of Google? Just this. And that's not enough.
So I'm glad you're bringing this up, because this is sort of a consistent, I'm sure you've experienced this before. This is a consistent, pull and tug between web designers and SEO specialists like yourself. Having a lot of text on a page, yes, very important for Google indexing, and I am aware of that. But the issue with it is, as a web designer and as a user experience designer, nobody's going to read it. So it's not going to be that quick and to the point. But your point does make sense and hold a lot of validity.
I absolutely agree with you. At some point, consider doing this. If you really, really care about the way your website look and you don't want a lot of content there, consider having a more button here. So when I click on the more button here, it's just gonna, direct me to the other content. That's also gonna be on homepage, but it's not visible otherwise. So it's a possibility to have a lot of content, but at the same time, don't take away from the graphic design of the website.
In your experience, if you had to, if it was a black and white situation, and I'm not saying that it is, but if you had to choose, I'm guessing you would say, forget about the aesthetics and just put all the text that you can.
Well, now we have to figure out between your brand value and actual value of getting to the first page of Google. Most of my clients, they want to be on the first page of Google, but there are also others who say the look of my website, the look of my brand is more important than some text.
It's tricky.
It's tricky, but then you can always put it all the way on the bottom here. Or you can always do, text between pictures. It also helps.
Okay.
What is this? Huge Y Sataram, Water Safe Studios. I would make these links to other pages, to be honest.
Okay.
On the website, that would also help. What is the main keyword for this client?
I believe it's film studios or
Then
something to do with studio rentals or somewhere like that.
Then you did a very good job with the title of this page. Look, right here. This is the title: Brooklyn Films and Photo Studios. Perfect. That's what it should be.
I can't take full credit for that. The owner of this website did a lot of his own due diligence and really educated himself on the best way to implement this in conjunction with me. So while I definitely did a lot of research, he was there side by side with me, and I think that it's important to know for any owner or anybody going to make a website, you really do want to educate yourself and take the time, because as much as it's important to hire an expert, somebody who goes through the challenges every day, it's also really important to educate yourself, to almost like fact check that person, so to speak.
Absolutely. Now take a look at something else. You got a keyword right here, but I'm trying to figure out if you have it within this content. So I'm searching for Brooklyn Film Studio, and it's not here. Let me search for film studio. It's only here, which is okay, but you obviously should have a little bit more of that main keyword there. Same thing with photo studio. This is good. So you should have your keywords, your main keywords in your content. That's also very important. So you have it here, which is okay, yes. What you don't have here is a mentioning of Brooklyn. And if it's a local keyword that you're trying to target, you really want to target photo studio and have your competition as a nationwide. You want to be on the first page of Google with photo studio Brooklyn. So do include location keywords within your content as well. That's also important. Which you have here, that's also good. It's just, photo studio is here, Bushwick, Brooklyn is here. So this is a slight issue. They should be together.
Gotcha. Okay. Anything? So now, is there anything else on this page that?
To be honest, the next step is taking this website through my softwares that I'm using, which will really show you all the mistakes in details. And I can do it for you. You'll have the report ready tomorrow. I'll send it to you and to your client, and they'll be able to look through it and fix it. Fix all the minor details, minor misspellings, notices, any kind of errors that are here, if there are any, of course.
So let's do this. I'm curious to see what you think. Why don't you take the screen and go for the responsive, see what it would look like on mobile? Shrink it down, I'm saying, essentially. Can you shrink it down or no?
Can I shrink it down?
Meaning like the window, take the window and shrink it down as if you were playing, as if you were trying to get an idea of what it would look like on your cell phone.
Oh, okay, because I usually, in order for me to look how it looks on a cell phone, I usually search it from a cell phone. Is that what you want me to do?
Oh, no, I mean, you can't do that right now because you're screen sharing, but I'm saying if you just condense the size of that window, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm. Oops.
Yeah, just condense to simulate a responsive experience, so to speak.
Are you sure that's how it simulates? I really don't see that this is, I'll be honest with you, it should look much more different from the phone, because not all the pictures should be there.
It will look a lot different from the phone. But I'm saying if you shrink down the size of the window, it should respond, and the design should change a bit.
So is that why I shrink it? Is that what you mean?
No, not exactly. You've never
You
shrunk.
want me to like zoom it like this or like this, for example?
No. What I mean is, if you maybe almost like that. All you have to do is if you grab the other side of the actual browser and you shrink it, like you just you click and you shrink it down in size, the side of the browser, like the window itself. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it.
Listen, those are good points that you're making. That being said, I would rather, for the time that we still going to be talking, I would rather give some nice clues to your viewers on how to pick the right SEO company, what you're looking for. Those are the most important thing. Well, I do promise you that I will, give the full on-site report on this website for your friend and client.
Listen, I can tell you this. You can look in the comments. 718 Studios just comments saying he would hire. They would hire this guy, meaning they would hire you for sure, because you made. I think that you provided a ton of value in all of your assessments, and I think you've been very honest with people. And I think it's important to know when we spoke about pricing, you said it would depend, but you also explained why it would depend. So because it will depend on the demand in the field. So if you have a shoemaker, and there are not a ton of shoemakers who are asking for SEO, because there's not a ton of shoe repair shops or whatever that have websites. And they want to get on the first page of Google, it might cost them maybe a few $100 a month because there's not that much competition. So it's not that there's a one-size-fits-all. And the reason I kind of circle back to that is because I feel like a lot of times when somebody like you would say, well, it depends. Other people might say, of course, he says it depends. It depends on how much he can think to charge us. No, you just said you would charge a very small amount for a field where there's very little competition. So I think it's really important to know how truthful you've been, at least to what I can see from this entire conversation. So, Oleg, I guess we could wrap this up. I definitely want to bring you on again. I think there's a ton of value we can continue to bring to people. First of all, let's help people find you, man. Let's help people find you, because it seems like you can really, really help them. How do they get in contact with you?
Well, it's very simple. I have a LinkedIn page, I have a Facebook page, and I also, all my clients, absolutely all my clients have my cell phone. I find that the most important thing in my field, and that actually makes me different from at least 70% of my competitors, is that every single client has my cell phone. Now, my company is not small. I have about 60 people working for me worldwide. And I could have hired somebody else to deal with customer service, somebody else to deal with sales, but every single client that my company works with have my cell phone. And I don't let anybody else handle the customer service issues as well as the sales. So that's one of the things that you can say my clients, that do my potential clients, that they can call me at 646-334-3327.
One more time, in case the audio messed up on that.
646-334-3327. Right now, as a coronavirus special, I'm giving out free consulting, which means, SEO consulting could probably cost anywhere from $100 an hour to about $500 an hour. I'm doing it free of charge. And during that consulting, I look through the website and I give the advices that could save a lot of money. Just, my experience, my 15 years of experience in this field would actually give you a lot of nice advices and feedback on what you should do and where you should not really waste your time and money. Now, I wanted to tell you something about the shoe repair versus a serious business. I just don't think it's fair to charge the same amount of money and do the same amount of work for two different businesses. For shoe repair, you don't need as many links. You can do the same number of links that Neil Patel offers. Just 3 of them will be good enough. For another company that I'm working with, I'm not going to disclose the name of the company, but they pay me $18,000 a month, my friend. This is a serious company, and they want to be on top nationwide in hundreds of the largest cities. And obviously, this is their budget. And that budget started from 2000 and continuously increased because they saw the value in it. Something I want to mention to your viewers is how to choose the best SEO company for your business. The most important thing that you should do is to ask for referrals. There is no reason whatsoever why they should not give you 2 or 3 phone numbers of their previous clients or current clients that can tell some things about them. You should ask for their reviews, and I suggest the reviews would come from LinkedIn. There is no reason why a SEO company should not have a LinkedIn profile. It's a professional B2B. It's also, I mean, if they don't have it, you might as well think something better about them. But even one of the most important factors, actually number one factor, is their samples of ranking results. Now, I personally have an attachment of 65 of my clients that shows where they are on the first page of Google with an actual error. This is my client. This is the major keyword. This is where they are. There is no reason why a SEO company should not provide at least 10 of the clients that are actually in a similar field and actually rank on the first page of Google. Do not waste your time with the company that does not provide at least 2 of those 3 things. So that's just a small feedback. There is a lot more to it. I personally think that SEO, when you deal with SEO experts, do not get into with the company that have a separate customer service, separate salespeople, and actually separate people that deal and actually do the technical side of it. It should be the same person that you deal with, because quite often salesperson don't know, not able to answer all your questions, and same thing with customer service. And my customers that I took from those big companies that have 3-4 separate people dealing with you, but nobody knows the actual situation, it's very upsetting. You have a strategist, you have somebody who's responsible for the customer service, you have somebody who's responsible for technical, you have somebody who's responsible for content. You should just deal with one person in an SEO company. That would be so much easier for you. I don't know if we're out of time, but that's as much valuable information as I could give you. If you ever invite me for another hour, I'll be more than happy to unload.
First of all, once again, Oleg, thank you so much. But I got an opposing argument to your SEO specialist should just be able to support you on every end.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, on a day-to-day, that seems like a lot for one person to handle. So it's what you're saying is you need to hire somebody who is providing you with the same value you're coming to us with today, sales support, customer support, copyright, all this type of support. But if you're dealing with the same one person that's doing all this, how can they do this for you and all the other clients? How can they do that? If you are going to build a really strong SEO company like what you've built, how in the world did you have time to support all of your customers for every single aspect of this? Does that make sense what I asked you?
Quality versus quantity, my friend. I could have had at this point about 6,000-7,000 clients. I have about 400 right now. Why? First of all, I don't have a sales team, so I don't have no salespeople whatsoever for the last 7 years who would actually cold call or contact somebody to solicit for using my services. Everything is coming by referral. For that specific reason that I'm dealing with those things myself. Not the technical part of it. Thank God I have the best team in the world. They're with me for a very long time. They take care of that. So I don't do anything technical, but I do deal with every single person directly. Every single client of mine. And yes, I agree with you that, at some point that I thought, listen, why would I got a lot of advices from my colleagues as well. Why don't, get a telemarketing companies? Let them start calling, let them sign contracts. I have no contracts whatsoever. It's month to month, cancel anytime. I don't believe in contracts. What I do believe is in personal relationship. And I really hate, don't you just hate when you call somebody and they call you back in a day or two for any business, for anything related to any service? Well, my clients hate it as well. So I always pick up the phone. If I don't, I'll call back in an hour or so. And guess what? When somebody calls you back for any service and they just take down your information and tell you that somebody else will call you in 24 hours, and after that somebody else, would that make you happy? Would that be a great service that somebody provides to you? Absolutely not. That's why I feel it's essential for me to do it this way. Yes, I have less clients, but at least they love me and give me referrals.
You made a great point, man. Quality over quantity. Sorry, quality over quantity, 100%. So that must mean you actually end up turning down clients a decent amount of the time.
Well, I don't. I actually work with everybody. Like I said, my budget, it could be $100 a month to work with me. It could be several thousand. It doesn't really matter. I could only turn off clients that are disrespectful, that
Okay.
are annoying. Yeah, I had one or two clients that actually, call me every day and complain about something that absolutely not related to my business. Had to let them go, because if they don't understand after I explained several times that I'm doing Google My Business SEO and absolutely cannot fix their computer, for example, then so those are the only cases. Yeah. Let go.
Understood. I think you're right though. I think that the amount of value you provided us for now, man, is like really incredible. Oleg Levitas, thank you so much. If you want to tell people how to get in touch with you one more time, he's on LinkedIn. He gave his number before. We'll flash out this number all over the place. This is a man who clearly will steer you in the right direction as far as getting your business on Google and SEO and doing things properly. Everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. Oleg Levitas, we will have you back sometime very soon. Stay healthy, bro. Stay healthy, right?
Healthy and wealthy, my friend.
All be well. Have a nice day, man. Take care. Bye-bye.